The invention of wireless communication stands as one of the significant scientific achievements of the 19th century, a period marked by remarkable scientific activity and a subsequent radical change in human life. Guglielmo Marconi was born into an Italian noble family on April 25, 1874. Marconi was raised by his mother in the English village of Bedford since he was 2. Upon returning to Italy at 18, Marconi became a neighbor to Augusto Righi, a physicist at the University of Bologna conducting research on the discoveries of Heinrich Hertz. Righi allowed Marconi to attend university lectures and use the laboratories and library. After completing his education at the Cavarello and Livorno Institutes, Marconi, despite not excelling academically, was later recognized as a genius. Marconi was deeply interested in science and the study of electricity from a young age. In 1890, he began studying the idea of wireless telegraphy, sending telegraph signals without wires. This idea was not new, as scientists had been trying to send telegraph signals without wires using electrical and magnetic waves, and even light signals for 50 years. In 1888, Hertz had discovered electromagnetic radiation, known as Hertzian waves, which were limited and did not travel far. Based on an article by Righi, Marconi, at the age of 20, began experimenting with Hertzian waves. He built much equipment in his attic and in 1894, constructed a storm alarm that exploded when exposed to lightning. Marconi continued his research until December 1894, when he successfully transmitted radio waves, which his mother received as a bell ring in the next room. Supported by his father, Marconi developed devices for transmitting and receiving radio waves and designed a complete system. This system included a simple oscillator for radiation transmission, wires suspended above the ground, a receiver, a telegraph key for operating the transmission device, and a Morse code signal recorder. In the summer of 1895, Marconi moved his experiments outdoors on his father's land and tried new antenna forms. Despite improving the device, he could not transmit signals more than 1.5 miles. Marconi added some improvements to his device, discovering that increasing the antenna's length allowed radiation to spread over a wider range. Using parts from the old telegraph, he transmitted signals over 2 miles. Marconi sent details of his new device to the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs, requesting funding for his research, but his request was never answered. In 1896, Marconi spoke to Carlo Gardini, a family friend and honorary consul at the American consulate in Bologna, about leaving Italy for England. Gardini wrote a letter of introduction to the Italian ambassador in London, explaining who Marconi was and his extraordinary discoveries. The ambassador advised not to disclose the results until patents were secured and encouraged Marconi to come to England, believing it would be easier to find funds for turning his experiments into practical use.